Living in the Past is a Turtle, Mysteries of Azeroth, and Everlook Broadcasting production. This is Living in the Past, your Everlook Broadcasting Company weekly show about all things Turtle, Mysteries of Azeroth. Today is Friday, April 26th, 2024, and I'm Dan, your host for the next hour. In my original recording of the intro, I totally didn't say March. I know what month it is. This is a big show today. We have a lot to talk about. We're going to be covering the guild shoutouts here today. We're going to talk about patch notes. Some of y'all have been naughty up in Naxxramas. And apparently Turtle had to go in and fix some things, so y'all couldn't do that stuff anymore. We're going to go through that in patch notes here coming up. Also, we're going to be talking about the raid, the leaderboards, the Turtle WoW raid leaderboards. And the interview, I shouldn't say interview, but the piece that Vrograg did over the course of the week here. And speaking of Vrograg, tomorrow, the 26th, Saturday the 26th, is his 1-year anniversary. He's going to be doing a ton of fun stuff. He's going to be live, I believe, over on both YouTube and Twitch. So everyone go and support him. Please, please, please support him. He's going to be doing a ton of fun stuff all day tomorrow. I'm going to try to swing by and at least say hello. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, unfortunately, but I'm going to really try to. Congratulations, Vrograg. A whole heckin' year being the orc and doing the news. Congratulations once again. So make sure you're all over and supporting him. And then in our final segment, like I said, we're doing the guild shoutouts. I have 5 pages. I have 5 pages of guild notes to go through. So where the other 2 segments might be a little squished. They might be a little squished. A little crunched, if you will. Because I want to make sure I get as many shout outs for guilds as possible here. In addition, music today is going to be all Warcraft community related. So the first segment is going to be Billy McClure, Captain Placeholder, and I Can Be Your Healer, Baby. All older songs. And then the second break is going to be newer songs, Holding Out for a Healer, I've Been Everywhere, and LFM. All good stuff. Let's go ahead and get into the patch notes. It's patch notes time. And like I said, some of you all have been doing naughty things in Naxxramas. And Turtle had to go in and fix those things, it looks like. 4 horsemen will now prioritize attacking players rather than pets. Patchwork will skip immune targets for Hateful Strike. I wonder who's been doing what with that. So, again, some of y'all have been naughty. And then, there has been an exploit with Gothic related to feigned death that has been fixed. And finally, the Guardians of Icecrown will no longer get stuck. So, if you've been using some of this stuff, if this has been things you have been doing in Naxxramas, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to use that stuff anymore. So, no more naughty nonsense in Naxxramas. In addition, there were some PvP flagging issues that got fixed with this patch. Apparently, bandage shirts had durability on them. I don't know how much durability a bandage shirt can have, but okay. Apparently, Gilneas Hot Stew wasn't a cooking recipe, which begs the question, which makes us ask the question, what recipe was it? What kind of recipe was Gilneas Hot Stew? Is that a blacksmithing recipe? That must have been a blacksmithing recipe. I actually don't know. I'm guessing, of course, because I'm one of those unfortunate individuals that I don't always pay attention to cooking. So on my warrior specifically, I care about my desert dumplings, and that's kind of it. On my priest, I did the telebeam delight, but on my warrior, I really just care about the dumplings. So I actually don't know that recipe off the top of my head. A few other minor changes. There were a battleground change or two. And then the other big one, the other big change is the Black Lotus drop rate from low-level herbs was doubled. It was at 2%. It was at 2%. It's now at 4%. Now, my question is, and I believe there's a forum post on this where Torta actually goes into what herbs are considered like a low level. But my question is, what is a low-level herb in this situation? I believe there's a forum post where Torta actually talks about which ones they are. I just don't have it in front of me right now. So I would encourage you all, as I always do, please pull open the patch notes for yourself, read through them, and then pay attention to the forums. All good things. Just really quickly here, as we continue to go through our the first segment here is going to be very short. We're going to be closing this up here in a couple of minutes. Normally I try to go at least 50 minutes for the first segment, but there's so much more show to fit in here, and it's situation of I want to make sure I have the time to handle everything here today. When it comes to the guild shoutouts that are happening here towards the end of the show, I did my best to include as many different guilds as possible. My first, I'm going to say 3.5 pages of guilds are from Nordinar. I tried to pull as much of a variety as possible. However, some of y'all, your structure with how you're posting these guild announcements don't work well for reading them out per se. So if your guild announcement didn't get used here, it may have been because it would have required an immense amount of editing on my part. Usually the posts that have like 7 or 8 different individual short form bullet points, I'm just going to skip over, because having to reconstruct them is much more difficult versus me taking a couple paragraphs and mashing them together from guild announcements. So if yours did get skipped over, I apologize. Obviously, especially for Nordinar, there's a lot of guilds advertising, and I can only do so much. So next time, guild announcements that have blocks of text for me to copy paste and then make sure the pronouns are correct. I'm saying they, them versus us and we. Just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind for next time, because obviously this isn't the last time we're doing guild shoutouts. In another month and a half or two, we're going to do them all over again. So please just keep that in mind. A couple paragraphs, or even just one paragraph, in addition to all the bullet points or the shorthand that you do for guild advertisements in Discord, helps me out immensely. With that being said, let's get to that first break, because I want to get to our next segment. I want to talk about the wonderful, fantastic Turtle WoW leaderboards for rating. And by the way, Vito was so nice to talk to me about this. I really appreciate him taking the time to tell me a little bit more about why he does these logs and these leaderboards, and how he categorizes them, and kind of the purpose behind them as well, which honestly, it was a really heartwarming conversation with him. Vito was wonderful to talk to. So, and with that being said, first break, We're playing Billy McClure, Captain Placeholder, and I Can Be Your Healer Baby. And then we'll be right back with our second segment here on Living in the Past, coming up right after this. The musical tracks for this episode have been removed due to YouTube copyright. To listen to the full episodes with music, tune in to Everlook Broadcasting every Friday with the in-game radio widget. Welcome back to Living in the Past with myself, Dan, for our second segment of the broadcast here today. A quick correction. I said in the first segment, tomorrow the 26th, and today was the 25th. I have been told that is not correct. Today is the 26th. I promise I know what day it is. I didn't open up the show by accidentally saying March on my first recording. And oh boy. It's a doozy. So let's go ahead and get into the next segment. I wanted to take some time to talk about those wonderful Turtle Wow leaderboards for raids. I had the opportunity, actually, let me take a step back and say, hey, Rogreg did this wonderful segment on them. Has actually done a couple segments on the leaderboards, the rating leaderboards for the server. Wonderful segments. Thanks to him, and thank you, a much bigger thank you, honestly, to Vida, who manages them, who I had the time to ask just a couple questions here earlier today about them. Now, my concerns centered mostly around, okay, why are some people able to submit without VODs? And I'm going to explain a little more of that here in the first. After this, I'm going to explain why that's a concern for me. However, I asked Vida about this, and he actually had some really good comments. The VOD gets you the verified run. Runs that are just submitted with monkey logs are not considered verified. They're marked as unverified. And Vida really wants to encourage as many people as possible to submit just any kind of times, any kind of logs that you have available. Well, I shouldn't say any kind. He wants them monkey logs or a VOD. Also, he mentioned legacy players as well. So it's not any logs, but he wants them to be as accessible as possible. So even if a group is just starting out, you're like, even if just a pug group has just started getting to rating, they're just starting to hit 20 mans. They're not even hitting Molten Core yet. He wants those groups to feel comfortable submitting their logs. And maybe VODs. He would like that, but you don't have to. The concern for him more than anything else is accessibility. He wants as many groups as possible submitting their times for these leaderboards. The more participation he feels, the more people, the more groups that are getting into it, who are sharing what they're doing, sharing their own discoveries, how they're approaching things, the more we can see of that, the better this is in his mind. And I have to not just agree, but support that wholeheartedly. Overall, it was a really good conversation with him. He explained more of how the logs are, how the leaderboards are categorized, what different colors mean, what the different kinds of text mean. And it's all really, really well organized. And again, he went into pretty decent detail in talking with me about how he wants people to work on improving their personal performance, even if they're not gunning for number 1 or even top 10. He wants to see as many guilds as possible participating. Even those middle tier or low tier guilds who update him weekly, and maybe their times are a minute or two faster, he loves seeing that. Vida loves seeing that. It's so wonderful. Even if you're just barely getting onto the leaderboards, Absolutely, yes. And he also did encourage me to remind everyone, even if you're a pug group, he wants to see your times, he wants to see your VODs, and he wants to get you on those leaderboards. Again, you don't have to be gunning for number one to participate in this. Everyone on the server has the opportunity to participate in the Turtle Wild leaderboards. If you want more information on these, if you want to see more, reach out to Vita on Discord, and he can walk you through how to submit your times. Again, it was such a wonderful conversation with Vita earlier. It was heartwarming. It was wonderful to see. This is the kind of thing that really makes this community so special. It really is. Now, the reason that I looked into this in the first place was because the number one team, the number one raid group who submits logs for the leaderboards, refuses to submit VODs. And there's a little bit of background to that, and Vrogreg does go into a little bit of detail on that, and I'm also going to go ahead and talk about it here. But that did kind of scratch me the wrong way. That made me feel a little uncomfortable. So I had to kind of ask myself, why do I not like that? And the reason that I really came to was, well, I shouldn't say because they should submit a VOD, because it's not required. That's not required. It is not required by Vita that anyone submit a VOD. That's for accessibility. That's good. Now, I did reach out for comment from Mortality on this, and I got the same response that Vrogreg got, so we're going to go into that here in a moment. But before I get into that, this is kind of the reason why this made me a little itchy. And it's kind of because of my background in esports and speedrunning. And I'm just going to reference a few rules from speedrun.com. For those that don't know, speedrun.com, those rules on there are the same rules that GDQ and AGDQ use. It's the same rule set. So I'm just going to reference a few of those real quick. To submit a speed run of any kind, on speedrun.com, the time of the run should be the time in the video from starting condition to ending condition. It's not the time shown on the timer program, which is started and ended with human error. So a lot of this is about removing human error. If used, the video field must contain a video of the run. Every run should have a video submitted to it as evidence. The video field may not contain an image. Relevant images may be linked elsewhere. If your run features multiple videos, additional videos may be linked in the comments as well. The video must be of a reasonable enough viewing quality to see everything going on in the game. It is highly recommended to record with game audio, and some boards may require this. A board is essentially a single type of speedrun on speedrun.com. So a good example is 16 star for Mario 64. That board requires game audio, or may require game audio, rather. I don't know if it actually does. Intentionally submitting falsified runs is prohibited. This includes attempts to test moderators, which will get you banned. Runs featuring inappropriate video images on the side or highly offensive or slanderous audio may be rejected. So these are like a large segment of the actual rules when it goes to submitting videos on speedrun.com. And I'm kind of using that as a baseline for where I come from for all of this. Now, it may not seem like it, but a lot of these rules are actually about respecting one another in the speedrun community. For those that don't know about speedrunning, it's very collaborative. Yes, you're competing with others to reach a better speed and to execute better. However, you're not doing it by obfuscating data. That's considered not just bad sportsmanship, but unacceptable in speedrunning, where as soon as someone attains that different mechanic or new trick or new skip, it's available to the community, but you have to actually be able to execute it, which many times is the big problem. And almost doubly so when you're involving more people like you are in raiding. So while I immensely respect Mortality and what they have done with clearing raids at the speed they are, and it's confirmed that they are, make no mistake, Mortality has cleared those raids at those times. They submitted logs, they confirmed them, Vita has confirmed them. Mortality has those best times. They are at the top of the leaderboard. What I don't love, and this was kind of echoed a little bit in the statement that I received from Mortality, that Rograg also received, they don't feel like they need to let the cat out of the bag, so to speak. And they stated clearly that they're not doing anything different per se, but they feel like they don't have to let out their secrets. And again, that is a completely reasonable stance to take, but I do feel like it's almost like standing above others, where all these leaderboards really feel like they're about that collaborative spirit. And while, yes, guilds are competing, they're also working together to learn how to build the better mousetrap. As we are as a community, we're always trying to figure out, okay, how do we do this better? How do we be more efficient? How do we work around this problem? And I think more than anything else, my discomfort point was Mortality kind of standing above others and looking down on the rest of the community like we don't need to let out our secrets. So I would encourage everyone, share, collaborate. This leaderboard project that Vita has is incredible. Strongly support it. You should too. You should submit your times even. Even if you're a pug group. Again, even if you're a pug group, please submit your times. But I would just love to see a little more collaborative energy and spirit behind what it's all about. And for everyone to participate. Not just the people on the low end and then the people on the high end, but everywhere. So that's my thoughts on that. Again, huge thank you to Vita for the time on that. It was a great conversation earlier. Thank you so much, Vita. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and get to our next break. This one, like I said, is going to be a little more on the newer side of music. Holding out for a healer. I've been everywhere and looking for more. And then after this, the guild shoutouts. We're ready. It's time. More Living in the Past coming up right after this. The musical tracks for this episode have been removed due to YouTube copyright. To listen to the full episodes with music, tune in to Everlook Broadcasting every Friday with the in-game radio widget. Alrighty, the final segment of Living in the Past here for today, April 26th. If I can continue somehow getting the date correct, that would be fantastic. It's Guild Shoutouts time. Now, as a reminder, not only do I do this to try and spread awareness, but also, if any of you as guild members want to use this audio of the guild shoutouts for yourself, just let me know. Just reach out on Discord, just DM me, and I can clip out the individual segment that you have for your guild, and I can just send it to you. I certainly don't mind. I do this as almost like a public service. And I want everyone to feel like this is their time and their material. I am just reading it out. So please, if you do want a copy of your guild shoutout that I read off here, just drop me a line in Discord. I don't mind. It takes me like 2 seconds to clip it out. Alrighty, let's get started. Nordinar first. Golden Moon wants you. Come and join a very close-knit community that puts the team before themselves. They value good vibes and fellowship, working as a team to keep their raids cruising. Currently running all raids and 15 of 15 for Nax. Their primary raid times are 1700 server time every weekday. If you want to try them out first, their Molten Cores and BWLs often have spots for outsiders to come and have fun and see if they like the vibe. Amenities include a convenient guild house, guild bank funded and extremely discounted raid consumes, enchanting and crafting materials, and much more. All I Do Is Rin is recruiting new dedicated members. Are you looking for a fun environment to raid and progress? Look no further than All I Do Is Rin. They are all about striking the perfect balance. While they're serious about raiding and progression, they keep things relaxed and fun with plenty of banter on Discord. They pride themselves on their friendly and all-inclusive community. Whether you're a seasoned raider or just starting your adventure, you'll find a warm welcome from them. The Stormwind Opportunity League is a casual progression guild with a plan to progress through all raiding content Turtle WoW has to offer. They are currently farming AQ40, BWL, Emerald Sanctum, and Molten Core, and are progressing on Nax Rammus, and are 7 of 15 there. All classes and specializations are welcome, from healing warriors to rogue tanks. Everyone has the opportunity to play the game however they enjoy. If you want to take part in their fun-focused raiding community, reach out to anyone in-game or PM Benhard on Discord for an invite. Raven is a progression raiding guild and is looking for more raiders. They can guarantee a transparent loot system, a well-organized guild structure, and a respectful environment. This guild is mainly for players who wish to laugh and have fun while clearing PvE content smoother than last week. Nomads is an EU-based raiding guild. They are currently looking for loyal and reliable players to raid with them and be part of their progression on Turtle WoW. There are no gear or level requirements to join, just a fun person who may be interested in joining their raiding journey. They believe in rewarding people for their effort and being loyal to the guild because wiping on progression takes dedication, and being able to listen to your raid leaders is important. Because they value this more than someone being super geared, they're willing to accept those who have poor gear. However, what you do when you join the guild speaks volumes to them on your dedication, such as getting your attunements, farming specific gear like nature resistance. The guild is very friendly, and their nomads are often available to help one another out. The Boys are a social future raiding guild on the lookout for fresh 60s and newcomers on Turtle WoW, eager to embark on the journey from the beginning of the content. Their objective is to provide newcomers to Turtle WoW with an immersive experience, as if they were discovering the content anew, progressing through each stage as though embarking on a fresh journey from the very beginning. They welcome all adventurers and are actively seeking to establish a strong foundation for their future raiding endeavors. Currently, they are eager to bolster their ranks with additional level 60s, gearing up together in preparation for upcoming raids. The Classic Conspiracy is looking for more members. Join a group of old fossils and young brads from all over Europe that enjoy playing Turtle WoW together. They're working towards Onyxia and Molten Core, but the focus is on having fun together. They don't have a problem if you must go AFK during a dungeon or raid, if your kid is crying, or your dog needs to go for a walk. They will wait for you. Dancing Boars are looking for more like-minded players to join their ranks. If you find a chill but serious raiding environment with lots of banter to your liking, then they are the guild for you. Anyone who is interested in raiding is welcome to join them, new players and seasoned veterans alike. Your gear doesn't matter. There's a lot of gear up for grabs in lower raids. They also offer lots of support for new players, whether it be dungeon groups, attunement costs, or advice about your class. Farmers Market is a North America-based guild with some old souls returning, looking to enjoy the game in pure fun. Casual RP will be plenty alongside in-game events with naked gnome and goblin runs across Azeroth. Much in this world of Azeroth to be explored, but they pride themselves in finding the funny content to be explored together. They raid in jokery and fun. If you are looking for a serious guild, they aren't your fit. They will sow their joyous seeds throughout Azeroth and reap the joys of the fruits of their labors. However, they will destroy those noxious weeds that try to choke them or steal their light. Calling nerds of all varieties. Are you slightly goofy, a little off? Are you a nerd? Find your flock in Nerds of a Feather, a casual, all-inclusive, non-toxic guild of goofballs, freaks, and geeks who just want a fun way to get together and kill some stuff. Nerds is a great place for returning gamers, nerds new to Turtle WoW, first-time raiders, hardcore tunes, nerds leveling at all levels, and just about anyone else. Their philosophy is to play what you want to play. It's your game to enjoy. Just one rule, no jerks allowed. Sky Fury Vanguard is on the lookout for a few more heroes to join their ranks. They're a dedicated but friendly group focused on both progression and fun. You're welcome to join and attend raids as a pug in order to pursue their progression in the Blackwing layer. They're currently looking for rogues, warlocks, mages, shamans, and all other classes. For more information, please check their Discord. Now on to Telebeam shoutouts. Telebeam shoutouts time. Toa stands as one of the largest and most active guilds on the server's Horde side. They pride themselves on fostering a welcoming and familial atmosphere where camaraderie thrives both in Discord and during raids. Their core members are vanilla veterans, having conquered all baseline vanilla content and been active on Turtle WoW for several months. They currently have all content cleared. Their primary aim is to conquer all the content Turtle WoW provides. Currently, they're seeking more members to fill their AQ 40-man roster. They're in need of druids as healers and DPS, healers in general, hunters, warrior DPS, warlocks, and mages. Also, all other classes are more than welcome to join their growing family. RET is recruiting all classes, especially warriors, warlocks, and healers. They're an EU guild that raids and PvPs. Their core is experienced and helpful and have all content cleared and good world boss participation. Telebeam bananas are growing everywhere every day. The premium guild to level up and start your career. They do dungeons, share recipes, banana bonanzas, and more. Anyone with a good vibe is welcome. Whisper any Bananas Guild member in-game for an invite and more information. Circle of Magic invites you to join their ranks as they embark on the epic adventures that await them in the world of Azeroth. They're a diverse community of both seasoned veterans and fresh-faced newcomers, united by their love for the game and their commitment to supporting one another. As one of the prominent leveling guilds on Telebeam, they cater to those who are currently journeying through the realms of Azeroth, striving to create a welcoming environment where camaraderie thrives. However, their ambitions extend far beyond the leveling experience. When the time is right, and their ranks swell with level 60 champions, they aim to tackle PvE and PvP challenges together, progressing through content in a natural and enjoyable manner. All right, that's all the guild shoutouts. We got them done. That was a solid 10 minutes there, too. I'm very proud of how fast we got through that. I thought that would take a little bit longer to get through. But that's it. We did it. We did it, everyone. So thank you, everyone who submitted guild shoutouts. Again, all you have to do to get in on one of these is to make sure you're regularly posting in the Turtle WoW Discord in the guild promotions channel. Let me actually get the correct name. I stretch over here on my other PC. Oh, goodness. That is the Nordinar PvE category for Guilds-Nordinar. And then the Guilds-Telebeam channel in the Telebeam PvP category. If you do not have access to post in those channels, just ask in the support channel in Discord for permission to post over there. It's that simple. With that being said, okay, we're done. Whew. Thank you for taking the time to join me today. Our nostalgia continues, even though today's broadcast is at an end. And I hope you enjoyed the show here today. A huge thank you to the Turtle developers, moderators, staff, and volunteers. Without the entire team's hard work and dedication, we wouldn't have this station or server group. An additional thank you to the audio engineers and creators here for the use of their soundtracks they've created, which we use for segment transitions and intro audio. If you'd like to find out more about what I do, I invite you to check out my YouTube channel at youtube.com/@theDanNation, which I still have yet to update in the last couple months. I've been updating the Everlook YouTube channel. Oh well. And my series, Ancient Lore, a recapture of the spirit of my original podcast, The Ancient of Lore. Until next Friday, let's keep living in the past.